So I mean, I think that there are two different ideas here, right? So one is like, there's this guy Curtis Yarvin who's written about some of these things, and so one is to basically accept that this entire thing is going to fall in on itself, right? And so the task of conservatives right now is to preserve as much as can be preserved, and then when the inevitable collapse of the country comes, ensure that conservatives are able to sort of help build back the country in a way that's actually better, not Joe Biden's Build Back Better, but actually some sort of reconstruction of the country. I think that's too pessimistic and too defeatist. I tend to think that we should seize the institutions of the left and turn them against the left, right? We need like a de-Bathification program, but like a de-wokeification program in the United States, right? So like, let me give you a couple examples. So one of the things I've always been very sympathetic to is this idea that we don't have a real constitutional republic anymore. What we have is an administrative state, right? The administrative state controls everything, right? So to the point that like when Donald Trump wins, he can't even sometimes get his people in core positions of authority in the administrative state. It's like, well, do we have a constitutional republic? The founding fathers actually created a very powerful chief executive, a very powerful president. But if he can't even fire the people in his own administration, like, is this really a successful republic? So a lot of conservatives have said we should deconstruct the administrative state. We should basically eliminate the administrative state. And I'm sympathetic to that project. But another option is that we should just seize the administrative state for our own purposes. We should fire all of the people. I mean, I think Trump is going to run again in 2024. I think he'll probably win again in 2024. And he'll win by a margin such that he will be the president of the United States in January of 2025. I think that what Trump should do, like if I was giving him one piece of advice, fire every single mid-level bureaucrat, every civil servant in the administrative state, replace them with our people. And when the courts, because you will get taken to court, and then when the courts stop you, stand before the country like Andrew Jackson did and say the Chief Justice has made his ruling, now let him enforce it. Because this is, I think, a constitutional level crisis. If we continue to let bureaucrats control the entire country, even when Republicans win elections, then we've lost. We've just permanently lost. We've permanently given up. And so that's sort of how I think about this, is that, okay, so you do that, and then what do you do at the Department of Education? Well, you do what Viktor Orban has done in Hungary, which is basically say, you're not allowed to teach critical race theory anymore. You're not allowed to teach critical gender theory anymore. You're not allowed to teach your doctors that they should experiment on 10-year-old children with hormonal therapy. You're not allowed to do those things and get $1 of federal money or $1 of state money. And that funding will dry up very quickly. And then, you actually just, I think, go down American institutions and make it possible for conservatives to actually govern and succeed in these institutions in a way where they're currently cut out. That's basically my strategy, is like deinstitutionalize the left, reinstitutionalize the right. It is very hard. It will require men and women of incredible courage, but I don't see another way out. I mean, I really can't get over how crazy things have gotten. And if you're not recognizing in this moment how crazy things have gotten and how outside the box we need to think, then I think you're ultimately not really serious about taking back the country.
I agree. And I got to say, JD, I'm very happy to hear some of this energy coming out of you. Very muscular, very aggressive. These are the exact kind of things that we need. I've been saying that we need a critical conservative theory, and by that I mean the critical part, which is to say, action, or words without action are irrelevant. Philosophy without action is irrelevant. Man. You said so much. We're jumping around in my agenda here, but let's just get to it.
It's fine.
You mentioned the administrative state. Hello, Jennifer Law, by the way, in the super chats. Thank you very much. You'd mentioned the administrative state. That is something I wanted to ask you very clearly about. We Christopher Caldwell and others have put forth an argument that says that we are under the control, basically, of two competing constitutions. We have seen very clearly examples where the Civil Rights Act has been used in a way that was unconstitutional to affect laws that were never passed by a legislature. We've seen recently how the CDC has been